I played 100 Days of Stardew Valley, but as a fisherman. Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another video of Stardew Valley. For today's video, we are going to be playing through 100 in-game days. Let's see how much money we can make as a fisherman in this game. Mods are in the description, and membership is now active on the GamerGar channel. So if you want to support me further, click on the link in the description. So let's get straight into this video, and let's have some fun. Day number 1 as a fisherman. General rule of thumb, we can only sell fishing related items. So we're going to cut down some trees here, we're going to make our usual chest, we're going to plant our crops. We can't sell those crops, but we can certainly eat them and use them for energy. We will scour the beach, any sort of beach forageables we can sell. We can hand artifacts into Gunther as well, of course. And for the rest of the day, we are actually focusing on stone because we want to make as much fish ponds as possible in this playthrough. Day number 2, we finally get our lovely fishing rod from Willy, and we're going to pull up as much fish as possible. We're also going to hand in those glass shards into Gunther. We're going to complete that quest, get a couple of 100 gold. We're then going to go back to Willy and purchase a training rod to try to boost our level up to 2 so we can get the fiberglass rod. So we're going to spend the rest of day number 2 pulling fish up out of the water. I do eventually move up to the lake area and I start fishing up here as well, because this is the most profitable area to fish in spring. So by the end of day number 2, we get level 3 in fishing. I can now make crab pots, which will come in super handy later on in the game, because we're going to be making hundreds of crab pots. 1926 gold. There was a diamond in there as well that came out of a fishing treasure chest. So day number 3 begins with me selling some stuff here to Willy. I now get the fiberglass rod, I'm going to get some trout soup, and we are going to go catfish hunting. So the rule of thumb for spring is, if it's a rainy day, we will use that day to fish, because catfish are absolutely worth it. Catfish are tough to pull out of the water, but as your fishing skill increases, the catfish get a little bit easier. With fishing level 4, we can now make recycling machines. We also get fishing level 5, and we're going to go with Tapper, because I want to start making crab pots as quickly as possible, and the reduced resource cost will certainly come in handy. I'm also focusing on Linus here. I want to push him to 4 hearts, so I can get the wild bait recipe, which means there's a chance I can pull 2 fish up out of the water. I'm also going to treat myself to a backpack upgrade as well on day number 4. That is badly needed because we're going to be doing lots of fishing. We will give Gunther artifacts and minerals whenever we get the chance to, and for the rest of the day we are going to do some more fishing up by the lake because the mines haven't opened yet and there isn't much else to do at the moment. We do get fishing level 6 and we can now make the fish net. This is a mod. This works the same way as a crab pot, except it has a chance to get you actual fish instead of crabs and periwinkles and things like that. Day number 5 kicks off with me getting level 1 in farming. I also get some cookies here, which is magnificent, down into the mines, and the main strategy here is to get down as deep as quickly as possible. We do make it to level 10 and there's still a lot left in the day, which is good, so we will go further. We do fight a boss slime here and get a wood club, which is a huge weapon upgrade. The next day, Clint pays us a visit and he's going to give us the schematics to make some furnaces, which are going to come in super handy. And I'm going to give Linus a yam here, which he loves. That was gotten from a defeated Dougie. Dougies, on the rare occasion, can drop yams. While I do prioritise staircases and try to get down as quickly as possible, if I do see the odd copper nodes, iron nodes, or gold nodes, I will get those so I can start upgrading tools much earlier rather than later. I also need copper and wood to make crab pots. So we get down into the 40s and we stop there, and we're going to go for a pickaxe upgrade now with Clint here the next day before we continue further in the mines. We get a rainy day on day 7 here, which is great, so we can use today to pull up lots and lots of fish. I also fish in the beach area too, so I can get the eel, which I need if I want to capture all of the fish in the game. So one of the main goals in this video is to capture all of the fish in the game. To do that, we're going to have to fish in all different places with all different weather conditions. We're going to go to Robin here and we are going to get her to build our very first fish pond, and there will be plenty of fish ponds that will be built on this farm. You're not going to believe it. By the time we get to day 100, there's going to be tons of fish ponds, and they do come in super handy. So on day number 9, I'm going to make a fish net and I'm going to place this in the farm, and I'm hoping that it will get fish in the farm for me. If it does, I can fill up this pond with fish nets that will be coming super handy. To make a fish net, I just need some iron bars and some fibre. The challenge to mass produce them will actually be fibre and not iron bars. I do get my copper pickaxe off Clint today, which is great. I will, however, give him an axe to upgrade right now because I'm going to need tons of wood in this playthrough, so I am going to prioritize the axe and the pickaxe in terms of utility tools. I spent the rest of the day in the mines, just getting down through it as quickly as I can. Getting all the iron ore is super beneficial at the moment because I can make more of those fishing nets, and if I can make hundreds of those, it will be very interesting to see how much fish I can actually get every single day. So I'm just going to put some oysters into a pond here because they actually have a very good chance in generating seaweed. That will make future ponds much easier to make with Robin because each pond requires 5 seaweed, 5 green algae and 200 stone, and normally when it comes to making those ponds, especially every few days, the challenge is seaweed. So I'm back down into the mines in day 10, and it's great when you get copper clusters like this, especially in the middle tier. Copper is something you need all the time, and I say it in all my videos because it's just so true. I do get a wood mallet weapon here. I'm super happy with that. I will swap out my iron edge for that because it's a hammer type weapon, and hammer type weapons are so great. A few levels later I fight a boss slime, and it actually drops a much better weapon. It drops the lead rod, so I swapped it out straight away. It's nice weapon upgrades today. Day 11 begins with a copper axe, but we're not finished there. We're going to give Clint another tool to upgrade. This time we'll give him the copper pickaxe and upgrade that to a steel pickaxe. It just means getting down to floor 120 will be much easier. Because it's a rainy day, we're going to spend the day pulling up catfish. This is our primary source of income at the moment, because any other day we're just in the mines getting resources. I put some clay into our lovely oyster fish pond there to keep those oysters happy, and it also means that their population grows. I spend the rest of the day just cutting down trees because I'm going to need thousands and thousands of wood for the type of farm that I'm going to build. It is going to be the ultimate fisherman farm. The great thing about cutting down tons of trees is you can use the seeds to make field snacks, and the field snacks are actually really good for energy. So if you focus on cutting down one different type of tree every time, you can accumulate tons of field snacks, which means you can go for almost a whole day and constantly cut down trees. So you probably noticed the NPCs look a little bit different in this video. This is thanks to the mod called Strawdew Valley. If you're interested in the mods in this video, they're all in the description below, just so you know. I also win the Easter event and I end up getting the lovely straw hat, which is great. The next day I go back to Clint to get my steel pickaxe, so I'm doing really well at the moment in terms of tool upgrade. I got a chub there as well off the fishing net, which was really cool, so I will try to make a lot more of those and place them all over the place, which will make me a lot more money in the process. So we're back down into the mines again, and you'll probably see a trend forming here where if it's a rainy day we fish, if it's not, we're in the mines and we're farming minerals. We're going to need so much minerals for this challenge. So I just got a diamond there, which is great. I can't actually sell that, but I can trade that in for the triple shot espresso if I decide to do skull cavern runs later on. I get level 5 mining. I will go with miner because I need all the ores that I can get. Geologist isn't that great for me with this particular challenge. Another rainy day on day number 15. I'm just getting blessed with rainy days, and I spend the whole day putting up more catfish. Demetrius visits me today, and he will give me an option between the mushroom or the bat cave. I'll go with the mushrooms because they're really good for energy and health, and the mushrooms respawn every single day, so that was a no-brainer for me. Robin will make me another fish pond. This is the second fish pond now, and there's going to be a lot more to come. And we're back in the mines now on day 16, another diamond, which is great. That's more or less a triple shot espresso in the bag for me later on. And I found a room here filled up with crates. I love getting these types of rooms. A Yeti tooth came out of one of the crates there, which is great, so I'm going to pick that up straight away. That will be my new primary weapon. I finally make it down to floor 100 on day number 16, which isn't too shabby. Grab the star drop. Star drops are great for restoring energy, and it will also increase my maximum energy as well. Day 17, we are smelting ores into gold bars, and we're also going to visit Gunther as well. Give him more artifacts. There's a reason why I want to get down to Krobus as quickly as possible. You'll find out later on in the video why I want to get down to him so badly. We get a steel axe off Clint, but for now we're going to get him to process some geodes to get even more minerals and artifacts, so we can give the Gunther to get down to our lovely Krobus friend. I do have a lot of copper bars and sap, so I do make a couple of trap bobbers and I sell those to get some money because it's a fishing related item. And I spend the rest of the day up in the lake pulling up more fish. If I get bubbles like this, it's amazing because it means I can get a lot more fish in a short span of time. The next day I put some quartz into a fishing pond here. The oysters are looking super happy. I also push an eel into the fishing pond just below the oysters, so that'll become an eel fishing pond. And that's going to give me back eel roe in a couple of days as well, which is great. So we're back down into the mines, making my way down to floor 120 to get the skull key. And that is more or less the mines finished with. I will come back here occasionally to get more ores and whatnot. So we're smelting copper ores today into copper bars because we're going to need tons and tons of crab pots. I make a load of crab pots here now because I just need wooden copper bars to make them. I end up making 8, which isn't too shabby at all, and I'm going to make a ton of bait as well because I'm going to need bait to fill up these crab pots to make sure they function every single day. It's also worth mentioning too that you also need bait to put into the fish nets, otherwise they won't work. So for the rest of the day, we are going to pull up more fish because I need money. If I want to make progression in this game, we are going the Georgia route of course, I will need tons of money. And there's only so much I can get from these crab pots. So day 20, we're really getting through it now. I decided to fix the bridge. I'm over in the tide pool area now. I'm going to pick up all these forageables. I can sell these if I wish. And I'm going to make a lot of recycling machines today as well. These recycling machines come in so handy. They are magnificent for converting trash into useful items that I can sell. Anything that comes out of these recycling machines, I can sell no problem at all. So we're back down into the mines, and the focus now is stone, copper and bug meat. These are things that are needed all the time, and if I see fibre, I'll pick it up as well because fibre is always needed for stuff. So day number 21 begins with smelting more ores into bars. I'm going to make some treasure hunters here because I have a lot of gold bars. I'm going to sell these for extra money because I really want to push progression now as early as I possibly can. If I can complete all the Georgia bundles early on, it means I can go over to Ginger Island and we can have some pretty good fun over there. I'll also spend the rest of the day cutting down trees here too so I can make more crab pots. So basically, wood and copper bars is what I'm primarily aiming for, and I'm trying to fill up the whole map with crab pots. Wait till you see all the crab pots by the end of the video. There's going to be tons of them. And fish nets. Crab pots and fish nets. So I'm getting lots of great things from the crab pots. I'm getting periwinkles. Even the trash is handy because some of the trash can be converted into great stuff. We're back up in the lake area today now, pulling up more fish. 8,622 gold from selling fishing tackles, fish, and a few pieces of roe, which isn't too bad at all. That figure will gradually increase. The more crab pots we put down, the better fishing gear we get, the more ponds we have down on the farm. So it will steadily increase day on day. Day number 22, we are collecting all our lovely resources from our crab pots. The next thing we're going to do is go back up to the lake of course, and we're going to do more fishing because we need more money. And this is the only viable way that we can get tons of money at the moment. I'm going to show you some killer fishing combos that are on in this video that would change the way you play this game forever when it comes to fishing. You're going to love fishing by the end of this video. So I get fishing level 10. I'm going to go with Lore Master. Crab pots no longer require bait. This means I won't have to farm bug meat all the time. If crab pots give trash, it doesn't matter, I can just recycle it. Today we are going to have a serious battle with legendary fish, so to prepare we need to get the best rod the game has to offer, the iridium rod. Give it a trap bobber, give it some bait, and off we go to fight the legend. This was the first attempt, but by god did it take a long time. This is sped up 6 times just to show you in real life how long it actually took to pull this monster out of the water. Every time I got close to capturing this beast of a fish, my progress bar just went straight down to the bottom. Then I had to focus really hard to get the progress bar back up again. Eventually I succeeded and I pulled up the legend after a ferocious battle. But it was worth it. The legend sells for a great amount of money. So we are cutting down more trees today. More wood is required. I do make a legend trophy, which is a mod by the way. You can make trophies from the legendary fishes that you catch. You just need the legendary fish itself and some wood. So I can now hang this trophy up in my house. The only downfall is that I couldn't sell it and make a huge profit. But trophy is a really cool decoration and it does last forever. And the money that I'm losing out on today won't really affect me in the grand scheme of things. Day number 24, we are back getting all the resources from our lovely crab pots. And we're also going to use the recycling machines as well. I've got tons of trash here now that I can put into these recycling machines. All of this refined quartz I'm getting back I can sell. The wood is going to come in super handy. The coal is going to come in super handy. It's going to save me a lot of time and effort when it comes to gathering those resources in the long run. So you might not get back tons of coal or wood, but it all makes a difference. And we're still working on Linus. He's on 3 hearts now at the moment. Once we get him to 4, he'll give us the wild bait. And that will potentially double our fish intake on fishing days. I'm putting down more fishing nets as well to increase my raw fish production. And we are finally going to go to the Joja Mart. We are going to get our lovely Joja membership, 5,000 gold. Thank you very much, Morris. Don't we all just love Morris? I do. What about you? We're back down into the mines, but we're fishing in the mines today. So I'm going for ghost fish. More importantly, I'm going for stonefish. They sell for really nice money. Unfortunately, it is a super rare fish. So the next day, we're back in the mines, but we're getting fibre this time. We also want slime. We also want bug meat. We want stone. We want copper. Basically, we want the resources that the starter level of the mines gives you. So we're going to be up here a lot, grinding out these materials to get the most out of the 100 days. So I throw a frozen geode into the eel pond there because they were looking for a frozen geode for whatever reason. And that is the eels super happy. Back tomorrow, it is time for the first serious upgrade. It is the bus upgrade, which means we can now access the desert the next day. So we can do skull cavern runs if we wish. So we're going up to the lake here, and I get a carp, a largemouth bass, and I get a chub, which is absolutely magnificent, well worth the pieces of bait that I'm putting into these fishing nets. This is a cool little scene here of Strawman fixing up the bus here, so we can use it the next day for the desert. So we give Linus a daffodil today, but he is still on 3 out of 10 hearts. He should be on 4 hearts very soon. And we're going back to Robin, and yes, you guessed it, it is another fish pond that we're going to put on the farm. So we're going to go to the desert today. All my diamonds will be traded in for triple shot espressos, rubies will be traded in for spicy eels, and the goal today is to get down to level 25, because if we do that, Mr. Key will send us 10,000 gold in the mail, which is absolutely amazing. So we fall 3 levels. We make it to level 25. This is actually level 25 right now. Bust open the barrels. No lucky ring, unfortunately. I seem to be really lucky as of late in terms of getting lucky rings out of barrels, but none today. But not to worry, because tomorrow we will have a mail from Mr. Key challenging us to get to level 25, and the day after he will give us 10,000 gold in the mail, which is great. So I'm hoeing up the ground today. It is now the first day of summer. I'm going to plant these 3 melon seeds I got from Gunther and a starfruit seed, because I just realised that I need farming level 4 to make preserve bins if I'm going to process the raw into aged raw and sell that for a profit. So I do need to plant some crops and get up my farming level. Spend the rest of the day cutting down trees. There's still plenty of resources left on the farm that can be harvested, such as fibre, stone and lots of wood. So I should prioritise all this before I venture forward into Cindersap Forest and grind up all the resources there. The Forester perk is no brainer, which means more wood for us, and we're now going to make a ton of crab pots from all the resources we have been collecting. 32 crab pots in total ready to go. Also 10,000 gold from Mr. Key for getting to floor 25 in the Skull Cavern. It's such a lovely reward, and it's not that hard to even get down to floor 25. You can, if you're a total noob, you can easily do it if you have a full day and you have some decent supplies. You know, it's not impossible at all to do that on the first attempt. So we're going to get all the summer exclusive fish, including the ferociously hard octopus, which is a true legendary fish of summer. Speaking of legendary fishes, it was time to take on the legendary summer fish himself, the crimson fish, and we pulled that one up no problem. So instead of converting that directly into a trophy, I actually bought a crimson fish trophy off Willy. Strangely enough, it did not consume my original crimson fish, which means I could sell it and keep the trophy, which was great. Unfortunately, I did not notice when I got the legend, but I do know it now going forward when it comes to using this mod to its maximum effect. So we are watering crops today. We're not doing too much farming. That's because we're a fisherman, not a farmer. But we do need to do a little bit of farming to get those preserve bins. I do put an octopus into a fish pond, so we will have an octopus fish pond. And we're doing more fishing down in the beach. The reason why I'm going to fish primarily on the beach in summer, because it's more profitable to fish in the beach in summer than it is to fish up in the lake. So I'm going to make more fish nets today, 8 in total, and I'm going to put those down in the beach area. Hopefully they'll be able to get me some great things like super cucumbers and octopus and things like that. Robin will of course make us another fish pond, and these are all the fish nets now that I've placed. A lot more will be placed eventually. So to give back great things, this is day number 32 and I got back a puffer fish, I'm getting back super cucumbers, I'm getting back tuna, I'm getting back really good things indeed. I do get back the occasional trash, but that's okay because I've got loads of recycling bins that can turn that trash around, no problem at all. Look at all the lovely crab pots here now. There's a ton of crab pots here now at the moment. And I'm getting back crayfish, I'm getting back snails, I'm getting back loads of great stuff. I fished up a Dorado today. It's a super rare fish, so I'm happy to get it early in summer rather than later. Because if you leave that thing till later, it can be very stressful to get it because it is super rare. You could fish for the whole day and not see a single one of those fish. So it's back to Clint, and he is processing more geodes for us. We will primarily get minerals back from this, and look at all the things we have given to Gunther already. We are getting closer and closer to getting the key to the swords now, and we can go down and talk to lovely Krobus. I do treat myself to a backpack upgrade inside Pierre's, and that is all of the backpack slots unlocked. Then we're going to go to Robin the next day, and it is going to be another, you guessed it, fish pond. We are going to have a huge fish pond farm. That'll be the 5th fish pond that Robin will build for us. So that exclamation mark there, if you're wondering, is for wild bait. We cannot make that yet, so the oysters will have to wait for us to learn that and make it. We will, however, go with a gold pickaxe upgrade today, and now the time has finally come where Linus will share his secrets to wild bait with us. Not only does wild bait give you a chance to get double the fish when you pull it up, but it also increases the fishing bite rate chance by a few percentage as well. And all you need to make it is fibre, bug meat and slime, all basic resources, but it can be hard to mass produce because fibre is unfortunately not infinite. Not yet anyway. It is raining today, so we do take advantage of this and get the sturgeon. Then we go back into the mines and we're going to get the ice pip here now, which we also need for our fish collection. I just pulled up 2 ice pip there with the wild bait. That was really nice. Then it was down to floor 100 with the ferociously difficult lava eel, and that actually sells for a real nice amount of money, so I do try to fish up a good few of these today to make a decent profit. Day 35, we're back to Clint. We get our lovely gold pickaxe. Thank you very much, Clint. It's time to upgrade another tool. This time it'll be our axe, upgraded to a gold axe. We're going to visit the lovely Gus today. Doesn't he just look fabulous? Every time I see him, I get a really bad craving for a good glass of orange juice. But hey, that's just me. We do buy salads off him today. We need those for Skull Cavern. But we're not going to go to Skull Cavern today. We're just getting prepared for it. We're going to go into the regular mines today, and we're going to get some lovely copper ores. The next day we go into Skull Cavern, and I end up fighting a huge army of zombies here. And I do try to blow them all up together. I'm just too slow when it comes to the bombs, and a few resurrect before that can happen. But I still get a lot of combat XP from it. What I'm primarily looking for today is a prismatic shard, and yes, I do get one, praise the Lord. I can now get a lovely galaxy sword, and that is one of the strongest weapons in the game. Pre-Ginger Island, of course. It is day number 37, and we have just so many ores to work with. It is going to be a beautiful day of smelting, processing trash, and of course, getting Robin to build us, yes, another fabulous fish pond. Even on Tuesdays, her day off, we still managed to get her. We also go back to Clint. We get our gold axe, but we're not finished with Clint. Oh no, he is going to process more geodes for us because we are very close now to getting the key to the swords and getting down to Krobus and looking at his lovely special wares. So it is time to donate more items to the museum, and this should do the job. Hopefully Gunther now will visit us over the next few days. He's going to give us that key. I do have tons of ores that I'm going to smelt into bars. I make 24 more crab pots. I'm going to put them here in this area, which is the river area, and that's going to get us back lots more goodies. Look at all the crab pots we have now. Eventually this whole area will be covered with just crab pots. And even if most of the crab pots have trash, it's okay, because trash can be converted into lovely valuable resources. So we're doing more fishing today on day number 38, and I pulled up a red mullet there, and there's still a few fish that I actually need. But look at here, the good news, day 39, Gunther finally visits us. He will give us the key to the swords. Thank God. We can now go down and visit Krobus. So the lava eel fish pond wanted fire quartz, and the sturgeon fish pond wanted a diamond. Expensive resources indeed, but that didn't matter much to us because we couldn't directly sell those anyway. It was down to the statue of uncertainty. It was time to change up the fishing profession. I was going to have a little bit of fun today. I put a pufferfish into the luau. The government came along to have a taste. Look how hilarious the straw version of the governor looks. Now let's get a look at him after he tastes this lovely soup. After I put a nice fresh pufferfish into it, he turns green and he says it's vile and think I'm going to get sick, and after ruining the whole day for everyone. So we're going to go with the fisher perk and now with the angler perk. That means fish are going to sell for a lot more money. It does mean we will have to put bait into the crab pots, but that's okay. Robin will build us another fish pond, And we're going to fill up all the crab pots now with bait. The reason why we need to do this is because I want to push Ginger Island. So I want to sell fish at their maximum cost. I don't mind too much having to put bait into all these crab pots because of the amount of resources I'm getting back. So it does definitely make a difference. These oysters and shrimps don't sell for a whole lot on their own, but when you stack up loads of them, it does make a pretty big difference when it comes to your wallet. I do spend a great deal of time today just doing general fishing to get as much money as possible. Pulling up double tunas is very nice. If I can get super cucumbers that are on, that would be a huge bonus. Day 41, I pull up some melons here in the hope to get more farming XP. I don't get a whole lot though. I do however have enough money now to get another upgrade. I'm going to go with the bridge upgrade. This will give me access to the quarry cave, and to the lovely golden site. So we got a rainy day today, and we are going to pull up the red snapper. I needed that for my fish collection. I also got a diamond inside a treasure chest, which is great. Love getting those. And it was also time to fish up the mutant carp, which is another legendary fish. So that one's easy enough, not too challenging at all. I actually love the model there with the new mod I'm using when it comes to the fish models. And if you're interested in the fish models, the mods are in the description. And the reason why I keep saying that is because I always get at least 2 or 3 comments from people asking, what mod is that? So just check out the description to see the mods that are used. Day 42, I'm getting all the blueberries, but I'm only farming level 2. I'm going to have to do something soon to push my farming up to level 4. I will get the minecart upgrade today. That will unlock fast travel for me. And we will get Robin to make, yes, another fish pond. Poor Robin in the fish ponds. She must be sick to death of making fish ponds for us. But that's her job and she's getting paid. So happy days for everyone. I get the relaxed fit pants today from these floaty skulls, which is nice. I actually put that on and swap out the farmer's trousers for it, because I think it's a cool pants. Who doesn't like nice, relaxed clothing, huh? So I make it to the end of the quarry cave. I get the golden site. Yay for me. Teleport out of the cave, and now it is time to look at the power of these recycling machines. 3 pieces of cloth in total, and cloth does sell for quite the hefty number. That's going to give us some really nice profits there. And we're going to fill up all of these lovely fishing nets again with more bait, collect all the fish. I do give Sam a piece of bait by accident. He wasn't too impressed. The same thing happened with Vincent, but I'm sure I'll get over it in the next couple of days. It's not like we need to build relationships with them anyway. Here is another cool scene of lovely strawmen fix up the fast travel system for us. Day 43, we are going back to Clint's, and we're going to get to upgrade the watering can this time to a copper watering can. Ginger Island is around the corner, so I would like to go there with some decent upgraded tools. We're back in the regular mines, we're farming fibre, and we're looking for the usual stone, copper and bug meat as well for our usual farming activities. All these grubs are great, especially when you get them in large packs, because they drop tons and tons of bug meat. If I had a burglar ring it would be better, but alas I do not, so we just have to make the best with what we got. So by the end of the day we're just getting all of the lovely resources from these crab pots. And day 44, we are back to the lovely Morris. This time we'll go with the panning upgrade, 20,000 gold down the sink. However, we will get the ability to pan. So because it's a rainy day, Krobus sells a seed here called a damp wheat seed. This is a mod, you can't actually get this from the original game. These seeds will grow into something special and they only take 4 days to grow. So let's find out in the next couple of days what they're actually going to grow into. I will do more fishing today. What's new? So I make loads of treasure hunters. These require gold bars. They do however sell for 250 gold a pop. So we're going to sell loads of those because we need a lot more money. And here is another cool scene of the lovely Georgia Strawman fixing up the mine area for us. We make 23,000 gold by the end of today from primarily fishing tackles and lots of fish. Day number 45. And you can see the seeds I've planted on the ground. You probably won't be able to tell what they look like, but you will be able to tell in a few days. It's a crazy mod. I get the copper watering can off Clint, but we're going to give him the hoe this time to upgrade. That'll get us back a copper hoe. Willie teaches us the art of panning. And panning is a really useful function in this game. It is one of the ways you can get your hands on a lucky ring, which is one of the best rings you can actually get because it gives you a permanent increase to luck. So I see Linus today, but more importantly, I see a panning point. I go down to pan. You notice that I have the pan on my head can actually wear it as a hat, which is super useful. When I got down to the penny point, it disappeared, so boo-hoo, I suppose. But not to worry, the day goes on and we are pulling up more fish from these crab pots and fish nets. What a glorious day of fishing it is. I made more recycling machines because I've so many crab pots. There's a huge back order of trash that has to be processed, so I need more recycling machines to make more profit. Getting all this iron, stone and coal is an absolute godsend, especially the coal. It's saving me so much time. Day number 46, we've got 38,000 gold, and we have one upgrade left to get. That is the greenhouse for 35,000 gold. We will absolutely get that. We can now go to Ginger Island, but first, we have to assemble the mats to fix up the boat. 200 hardwood is required, and we have about 150 hardwood now at the moment. Maybe a little bit more from the stuff I got inside the mines there from hitting open the crates and whatnot. But a few days of farming the hardwood in the secret woods here will be enough for us to fix the hull of the boat. And here is another cool cutscene of the lovely Georgia Strawman fixing up the greenhouse for me. So, we're back to Robin today, and we are going to get her to build, yes, another fish pond for us. There's tons of fish ponds now on the farm. We also get this lovely scene here, where Morris and Co. give us a real nice party, and we're also going to get a really cool Georgia machine, which generates 1 Georgia cola every single day, for completing all of the Georgia bundles. Now that is something you don't get for going the community centre route. All you get is just a trophy that does absolutely nothing. And that's why the Georgia route is way better than the community centre route. But if you disagree, let me know in the comments. It's an argument you won't win, trust me. So our lovely seeds have grown into tuna. That's right. We are pulling tuna up out of the ground and getting farming XP for it. Also, look at all the tuna we get for each seed. These seeds are totally overpowered. They only take 4 days to grow. And I've gotten over 100 pieces of tuna. Over 15,000 gold worth of tuna. Willie is not going to believe us. So I'm going to sell all this tuna. This is going to give me a ton of gold, which means future upgrades will be simple to get. We're also going to go back to Krobus here. I've got 7,187 gold ready to go. And use that money to buy more of these lovely damp wheat seeds. Unfortunately, I can only get these off Krobus on rainy days. You will not have them on regular days. So we're now in the greenhouse. I'm going to hoe up this whole area. I'm going to put the damp seeds inside there. And I'm also going to make more fish nets, put them down on the beach, back to the secret woods, and we are farming more lovely hardwood. Look at all the fish ponds that are on our farm now. I also put down some lightning rods at the moment to get battery packs because I need 5 battery packs to fix up the boat for Willie. Now we only have a copper watering can, but it will suffice, and you'd be amazed how quickly you can actually water the entirety of the greenhouse with this. We don't have sprinklers yet, our farming level isn't high enough. I do get lucky though, and I do eventually get a few in the Skull Cavern, and you can buy some off Krobus too on Fridays if you're really desperate. So because I've completed all of the Georgia bundles, I can now go into the Mutant Bug Lair and I can get the Dark Talisman. And I can also fish up a slime jack here as well, which is needed for the fish collection. And this is probably one of the only times you can fish and get attacked by monsters at the same time. I do go into the witch's lair as well and I fish up some void salmon. I also fish up a void mayonnaise and I give that to the goblin. This is the straw version of the goblin, or henchman I should say. I call him the goblin, but technically he's called henchman. He takes the void mayonnaise, runs into the witch's hut, we follow, he's nowhere to be seen, but the magical ink is ours, which means we can now access the wizard's magical terminal. That means we can get the likes of obelisks and gold clocks and whatnot later on if we actually accumulate money to get those. I wonder how much money we will get by the end of this video. So we have all the resources gathered, we're halfway through the run and we now have access to Ginger Island. We do have to pay 1,000 gold to get over, but that's okay because fishing is profitable. I do fish up the wood skip here, which is also needed for the fishing collection, and I go to the desert and I get the sandfish here as well. Shortly after a ferocious battle, I fish up a scorpion carp, which is a very difficult catch indeed. So I'm going to put a slime jack into a fish pond here. Now, great thing about slime jacks, there's a chance they can give you back lots and lots of slime from a fish pond, which is really cool. Day number 51, we pay our 1,000 gold. That will give us access to Willie's boat. Thus, on to Ginger Island we go. Lots of secrets await us in Ginger Island. So what we primarily want here is to collect 100 golden walnuts as quickly as possible to get access to Key's secret walnut room. Thankfully, I know the location of all golden walnuts from getting them so many times. If you're looking for a decent guide on where to find all 120 golden walnuts, check out my golden walnut guide. It is a comprehensive guide that will actually show you the location of each one and how to get it. So, after a whole day of hunting down golden walnuts, we get our first major upgrade on Ginger Island, which is the Ginger Island farm. Back on our regular farm though, all of our lovely tuna crops are ready, so we're going to harvest all these. We now have a farming level 4, which means we can now make preserve jars, thank God. So we can now start processing our raw into aged raw, so we can make some decent profits there. Look at all the tuna we have now. We've got stacks of the stuff, over 100,000 gold worth of tuna. Have you ever seen so much tuna in your life? I haven't. The mod is absolutely crazy. I can't remember off the top of my head what the mod is actually called, but I will have it in the description of this video. All of the mods will be there, including their links, so you know where to go on Nexus mods to get them. So I'm going to sell all the tuna to Willie directly. That has probably made his day. And what's very interesting here is that I purchased the sturgeon here for 200 gold each off Krobus, but I can sell these sturgeon for a profit. They sell for 300 gold a piece, so I'm making 100 gold per sturgeon. So thank you very much, Krobus. It's very rare when that happens in this game. So I'm going to get more damp wheat seeds off Krobus, just enough however to fill up the greenhouse. I don't want to go too crazy on them because they only take 4 days to grow. They are extremely overpowered. The next day we finally go into the volcano dungeon. Lots of goodies to be had here. Now these lava enemies can be quite challenging, but just have your wits about you. Hit them a few times and they will evaporate before you. I do get a phoenix ring and a few more golden walnuts, which means I'm one step closer to getting into Key's secret walnut room. And the phoenix ring is super handy, so basically it'll revive you once per day. I do get a prismatic shard here as well, which means I can now upgrade some tools and make them way better. The goal was to enchant our tools. I enchanted the fishing rod here and I got the master enchant, which gives me a +1 to my fishing skill, which is really good. And primarily I was just looking for cinder shards as well to upgrade more tools going forward, and I was looking for golden walnuts. I spent the whole day of 54 fishing up lava eels in the volcano because they are super common in the volcano. And if you're really good at fishing, you can make some serious profits from this area. This is hands down the best zone in the game to fish and make profits. Come up here with a trap bobbers and wild bait and you'll come out with hundreds of thousands of gold every single day for pulling up these lava eels. It's just so overpowered. This is why end game fishing can be very lucrative. I caught 45 lava eels today, all gold star quality, for 70,875 gold, and that's not even a good day. That was actually below average on what you can actually get if you get more luck with the wild bait. Day number 55, we are going to get more resources on the farm. So we're going to get all the stone, all the fibre, all of the wood because we need it. We need more fish ponds, we need more trap bobbers, we need more of everything for our fishing journey. We will get Robin to make another fish pond. So here is another huge batch of tunas. I'm going to pick all these up. I'm also going to pick all of these up in the greenhouse as well. So we have got some serious profits underway. First we get the profits from all the lava eels, and now we are going to get some serious profits from those tunas. So we're back down in the regular mines, and what we're aiming for here is stone, because I'm running really low on stone because Robin is constantly giving us fish pond upgrades all the time. We finally make it to the end of summer, and look how good the visuals look here. So we have the lovely event with the jellies, and we also have the visual fish mod as well. That's the last time we're going to sell those tuna crops in this game because they're just too overpowered. Day 57, we're now into fall. It's time for another legendary battle. This one, however, is quite the pushover. The angler, one of the easier legendary fishes. We also get the salmon as well, but why stop there? We needed more fish like the tiger trout to be added to our fishing collection. One step closer to getting the star drop off Willie. So we're now off to Clint, but we're not here for upgrades today. No, we are here for coal. Lots and lots of coal, because you need coal to make preserve jars. 8 pieces of coal for 1 preserve jar. So I wanted to make as much preserve jars as possible. I made 14 there, but I ran out of stone. So I had to go grind more basic resources to make more preserve jars. Fortunately, you can purchase stone and wood off Robin, and I had tons of gold to spare. So I went back to Clint. This time I'm going to upgrade a tool, and he will upgrade my pickaxe to an iridium pickaxe. It was Tuesday, so I just caught Robin in time to purchase loads of stone and wood off her so I can make a lot more preserve jars. So I got a full stack of stone, I also got a full stack of wood, and that should sort out my preserve jar needs for quite some time. So I'm just going to put them all there over on the right. I was thinking about getting a shed, but I said I didn't really need to at the moment because I had tons of space on the farm. So I got to see Cucumber today, super happy with that. We also had access to special orders quests. I'm going with Prismatic Jelly to get the Monster Musk. That means farming bug meat down the line will become super easy because I can just take a Monster Musk and go to town on the bugs. So this is the Prismatic Slime. He did take quite a few hits to kill, but we got him eventually. It did take us a whole day to find him from spamming room number 5. But it was worth it because the Monster Musk is really good when it comes to monster loot. So look at all this lovely edge roll we're collecting. We do of course go back to Robin, but this time it's a house upgrade because I want to be able to convert fish that don't sell for a whole lot of money into sashimi. I can make a decent profit that way. It was back to Ginger Island. The hunt was on for more golden walnuts. You can get a maximum of 5 from breaking open those mussels there on the beach. You can also get a maximum of 5 by fishing, and you can get 3 here from doing this pylon puzzle, which took me a good few attempts. Day 61 went into the volcano cave. You can get a maximum of 5 from mining, 5 from the chest, 5 from killing enemies. So there's loads you can get. I also got the dragon scale boots, strongest defense boots in the game. I also merged together a phoenix ring with the magnet ring just to free up a ring slot so I could put something else there in the future. I fixed up the resort area, which means I can now access a new zone on Ginger Island. This particular zone houses a fish known as the stingray, which we need for our lovely fish collection. And that is the stingray caught right there, one step closer to getting that lovely star drop off Willy. I also fish up the blue discus, and I also got the lionfish earlier as well, just didn't have the footage to show that, but the lionfish is pretty common in the beach area of Ginger Island, super common fish indeed. So I made more fishing nets, and I'm going to put them all along the beach here on Stardew Valley, and I also get my iridium axe back off Clint, super happy with that. I'm now going to give Clint a watering can to upgrade to a steel watering can. I also fish up the walleye that day because it was raining. I went up to the lake and got the walleye, so that's another fish that I needed. I also got the midnight carp, which is a nighttime fish, hence its name, midnight carp. You don't, however, have to wait until midnight to get it. You can get it a few hours before midnight. I did a couple of more fish pond quests today, collected some roe, back to Robin, of course, the usual story. We're going to get her to upgrade our farm with another lovely fish pond. Look at all the lovely fish we're getting back from these nets today. We're getting sea cucumbers, red snappers, albacores, sardines. It's just such a lovely mod, and I think it's a great balance to the game. Definitely makes fishing a little bit more interesting. We do respec fishing, however. We're going to go with Lore Master again. Crab pots no longer require bait. Why are we doing this? Because I don't really need a whole lot of money at the moment, and I'm sick to death of putting bait into the crab pots. Simple enough, right? So I get Clint to upgrade my watering can again to a gold one. That'll take a couple of days. Back down into the regular version of the mines, and we're just getting some iron ores here now at the moment. We're killing bugs for bug meat as well, and we're just getting stone and fibre along the way, just the usual resources. So I put a load of bug meat into the slime jack pond today. That will level up those guys, and I get my first dose of caviar, which is gotten from sturgeon roe. Caviar sells for 500 gold a pop, but it can sell for more if you have the artisan profession. I do not, because my fishing level is not 10 at the moment. I will take the biome balance special orders quest from Demetrius. I need to get 20 ocean fish. I did test the fishing nets to see if this would count towards the quest. Unfortunately, it does not. I would have to fish them up the good old hard way. But not to worry, I did have some wild bait, which meant sometimes I get double fish, which means the quest didn't take as long as I thought it would. Only 1500 gold for quest completion, but the true reward will be selling the fish that I actually caught. Look at all these lovely fish ponds. They're generating more roe by the day, which is really good. I can now start to make some decent money from selling all of the aged roe. So it's back to Robin again, and it was another fish pond. So the trend continues. The more fish ponds we get, the more money we can make. Think of it as a huge fishing investment in fish ponds. And I'm smelting more bars, as per usual, copper bars, so I can make lovely crab pots. And I'm cutting down more trees because we need wood and copper bars to make crab pots. And Cindersap Forest had tons of trees on it, so why not? I spent the whole day cutting down trees here. With my iridium axe, it only took a few swings to fell these trees, so it actually didn't take me that long at all to massacre all the trees in Cindersap Forest. So all of the new crab pots I made, I'm going to put around the big lake here in Cindersap Forest. And I also made some fishing nets as well that I put all around the lake too. If there was a mod that could automate the collection of these materials, I probably would have used it, because it gets real old real fast when you have to spend half the day every single day to collect all of the resources out of the crab pots and the fishing nets. It gets quite boring, to be perfectly honest with you. But it was a fisherman challenge, so we had to suck it up and get on with it. I made some sashimi today from fish that didn't sell for a whole lot of money, so I'll be able to make a profit that way too. Sashimi is actually really good too as a healing food. You can even bring it into the Skull Cavern with you. I purchased a ton of bombs off the dwarf today. Doesn't the straw version just look so adorable? Speaking of straw versions, Gus for me takes the cake when it comes to cuteness. You can't beat the straw version of Gus. Back down into the Skull Caverns, and it was a great day. I got tons of iridium bars, I got tons of prismatic shards, and I even went with the prospector perk because there was no point getting the blacksmithing perk as I wasn't selling bars to make profit, because I couldn't. But the prospector perk would come in real handy because that would give me extra coal every time I delve deep into those dungeons and start hitting open ores. So you can probably guess where I went after the preserve jars. Yep, I went up the rob and it was time for another fish pond. So I couldn't tell you how many fish ponds are on the farm now at this rate, but there were a lot, and each one had a unique fish inside it. I got back my iridium watering can, super happy with that. It was time to start upgrading the hoe. We'll upgrade that all the way to the iridium hoe eventually. I found the wizard outside of his house today. Never seen that before in my life. I didn't even know he went outside. Maybe it's a glitch with the straw mod, maybe not. To be honest though, I don't come down here too much. I only come down to these parts if I'm going into the secret woods. And even then, you probably wouldn't see him if he was standing there. So that was quite interesting, I thought. Or maybe he's just after the fish out of my crab pot, who knows? It was back to the volcano today. I was fishing up more lava eels. Today was going to be one of those days I was going to spend the whole day fishing up these lava eels because I needed more money. I wanted to get certain upgrades done before day 100. It was now day 70, so we had to get the ball rolling in terms of profits. Fishing up double lava eels like that is just marvellous. I mean, that's 3,000 gold right there in the pocket when you fish up double lava eels. I made a nice profit today, 56,480 gold. Wasn't the best day, but it wasn't bad either. Went to Robin again. This time we were going to get a slime hutch because wild bait requires slime. So I thought to myself, well, if I can knock the slime on the head, I would only have to worry about the fibre and of course the bug meat. So I got the community cleanup quest today. Speaking of fibre, this would basically more or less give you infinite fibre, because you get so much fibre from the fibre seeds, so I picked that quest up straight away. The good news was that the trash you got from the crab pots counted towards gathering the trash pieces for Linus's special orders quest, which was great. Any leftover trash I needed, I just put out of an empty fishing pool here. So I got some driftwood there, that completed the quest. So you only get 500 gold for quest completion, but the real prize will be delivered to you via mail the next day. It will be a recipe to make a fibre seed. You don't even have to water these. You just have to make them, plant them, protect them with a scarecrow, and within a couple of days you will have hundreds if not thousands of fibre. So I went to the Stardew Valley fair today and I had quite the assortment of items. I had high quality fish, I had high quality bars, I had cloth, I had caviar, I had quite the collection of goods. Spoke to Mayor Lewis. I was hoping for first place. Let's see what placement I get. Lo and behold, I get first place. I'm awarded with 1,000 star tokens. What do I do with those? The best thing to do is just to gamble them on green and keep gambling on green until you have enough to purchase all of the items from the lovely store. So I start with Star Drop, I get the fedora hat as well, and I move on out of here in style. I get my steel hoe off Clint on day 73, and I planted the fibre seeds on my farm here. I made a nice little patch here for them. I don't have to water them, which is great. I just have to plant them, put down a scarecrow, and they are good to go. I'll be able to harvest those in a couple of days with my scythe. I get loads of aged raw off of the preserve bins, which is great, and I move all of my furnaces inside the house here. So I smelt all my bars now indoors. I also planted some mahogany trees because I really need a lot more hardwood, especially for the projects that I want to do in the next couple of days. Lots of hardwood was required. So it was back to Robin, time for another upgrade. This time it's back to the usual fish ponds, of course, the more the merrier. We're also back to Clint. It's time to upgrade our hoe to a gold hoe, and we're going back to the secret woods and we're just hitting open some tree stumps, getting some hardwood. We also go to the desert. I get a magic rock candy. Unfortunately, I actually forget I have this. I don't end up using it. But I did have the prismatic shards to spare, so I said why not. Spent the rest of the day cutting open the trees, getting some wood. So lots of iridium bars here. They will come in handy later on, especially for upgrades and whatnot. And I put fertilizer on all these new mahogany seeds because I needed just so much hardwood to make the machines that I wanted. So I get a lot more golden walnuts off the frog because the melon and the wheat have fully grown. That was a total of 10 more walnuts in the pocket. There was also lots of hardwood on the Ginger Island farm, so I took the time today to gather all that up, and that made a huge difference in terms of my hardwood goals. Day 76, the days come around so fast. It was back to Robin, and it was time to get her to build me another fish pond. Then it was back to Clint, usual story, got my gold hoe. I give that back to him straight away and get him to upgrade that to the iridium hoe, but first it was time to break open a golden coconut and get a golden walnut. Then it was time to upgrade the hoe to the iridium hoe. I'll have that back in a couple of days. So these were all our fish ponds at the moment. The void salmons wanted a void egg. I didn't have chickens, but you can buy one off Krobus, no problem, for 5,000 gold. The blue discuses wanted taro roots, which means that if I wanted to complete that quest, I'd have to grow some taro tubers over on the Ginger Island farm. And I also got a red slime egg from the Skull Cavern, so I just put it into the slime incubator here. That will start a little slime family. Hopefully, if I get a male slime, they can start breeding with each other. Back over on Ginger Island, it was time to access the dig site, and it was time to access Professor Snail's chain quest of finding artifacts. It was then back into the volcano dungeon, and I was just primarily looking for resources in general. The chests were great. I got a soul sapper ring. Not much good to me at the moment though, since energy isn't really a problem anymore. But there was lots of ores to be gotten. Gold ores, iron ores, copper ores, they were all on the table. Upgraded my galaxy sword 3 times with a ruby to increase its total attack power. Then I gave it a prismatic shard. I got the Crusader enchant. Couldn't have asked for anything better. By far one of the best enchants in the game when it comes to combat. I also got the reaching enchant for my iridium watering can, so it can now reach a lot further. Because my hoe was being upgraded, I had to blow the ground open to plant crops instead of hoe it open. But the regular bombs did the job just fine. Planted all of my taro tubers. I'll be able to harvest these in a couple of days and get taro roots. I can even get up to 5 golden walnuts from pulling up crops out of the ground, so it was a win-win scenario. I'm going to go with the tropical fish special orders quest here from Willy, because it's a fishing quest and because the prize is really good. It's a really nice fish tank you get. I purchased a void egg off Krobus for 5,000 gold, and I also got some more golden walnuts over in Ginger Island. Figured out the puzzle here for the gem birds. I got 5 more golden walnuts from that. And I also fished up some blue discuses now tonight too, because I wanted to finish off the tropical fish quest as quickly as possible. Speaking on the quest, the next day I managed to finish it by fishing up the 5 stingrays that were needed. My reward, 2,500 gold, but the big prize will come the next day in the mail from Willy. Headed back over to my regular Stardew Valley farm, filling up some preserve jars here with the usual roe to get back aged roe and caviar. All this will be sold for a pretty decent profit. Day 80, the fibre seeds were ready. It was time to take out the scythe and get all that lovely fibre. I was going to get back hundreds, if not thousands of fibre from all of this. That was the first batch. I had a second batch growing up here, so happy days. Once I collected all the fibre, I checked my mail and got the deluxe fish tank off Willy. It's a really big fish tank, but it looks really cool. You can put any sort of fish into this. You can put seaweed into this. You can make it look really nice. I put sea urchins in here and gave them hats because I think they look super cute with the hats. I had the frog hat, the straw hat, I had the fedora from the event, and I had a hat that I got from killing a slime over on Ginger Island. So it was time to finally make some worm bins. I needed hardwood, gold, iron and fibre to make these. That's why I needed to assemble so much hardwood. These bins would mitigate the cost and time needed to constantly grind bug meat for bait to fill up all the crab pots and the fish nets. They'd make a huge difference on a daily basis. Speaking of fish nets, I made 14 more. I'm going to put these down over in the beach area, so I'm going to get more fish on a daily basis, which means more profits for me. Look at all the fish that I could collect. It was crazy. I made 64 more sashimis here from low quality fish that didn't sell for a whole lot of money. And I also threw all of these tunas away back into the water. Demetrius will have a stroke. I suppose we can expect an overpopulation quest from him in the next couple of weeks, asking us to fish up some tuna. We'd be the culprit. Or maybe Krobus is the culprit, because maybe he throws seeds into the water and that's why these overpopulation quests arise. So who is the enemy here? Myself or Krobus? I'm going to blame Krobus. I did make some wild bait, however. Probably one of the most overpowered items in the game when it comes to fishing, of course. Respect my fishing professions again, back to angler, and it was going to be the whole day fishing up lava eels to make some serious money. Let's see how many lava eels I can fish up today. So sometimes you get trashed, which is unfortunate, but the majority of times when you get a hit, it will be a lava eel up in the volcano dungeon. I'm at 100,800 gold today from lava eels. I caught 64 lava eels, which was pretty good. That's the power of endgame fishing right there. The next day was the same. It was going to be a whole day of fishing up lava eels because I needed a ton of money and I didn't want to rely on the broken tuna crops. So I got 78 lava eels today, 75,600 gold. So it does vary quite a bit depending on how lucky you get with the wild bait. But on a fairly decent lucky day, you can get anywhere from 100,000 gold upwards. Look at all the fish ponds we had now. It was day 84 and we had tons of fish ponds on the farm. Each fish pond had a different fish inside. Of course, to maximize profits, you could just fill them all up with lava eels. That would make you the most money hands down. But for this fishing challenge, I wanted there to be a bit of a variety of fish. So I got more hardwood, then it was back to robbing it. Yes, it was another fish pond. I made 47,000 gold today just from selling lots and lots of edged roe, fishing tackles, things like that. So it was a nice chunk of money made. The edged roe really came true. The next day I went over to Ginger Island to harvest all of the lovely taro roots, and I got a couple of golden walnuts by doing this as well. So much so I was able to get into Key's secret walnut room and take on one of his quests. I'm going to go with Key's cuisine. Because I had so much fish, it would be easy to make sashimi and sell that. I just had to ship 100,000 gold worth of food. So it was time to get cracking on the quest. I did give the taro roots to our lovely blue discuses, so they're going to level up from that. And it was time to finally harvest all of these lovely crab pots. And all of the fish I was going to get from these crab pots, regardless of how much they would sell for, would be converted into sashimi. But not just any sashimi, fresh sashimi, because it was for the quest. That's how the game differentiates between freshly cooked items and items you've cooked before the quest. It will put the fresh word before the name. Spend the rest of the day pulling up fish that I need. We're in winter now, so I got the perch, the lingcod and the squid today, all needed for the fishing collection, of course. All that was left was the glacier fish, which is a legendary fish, and the 3 submarine minigame fish, which is the spook fish, the blobfish and the midnight squid. So it was time for another fishing respec. We're going to go with mariner, which means that the crab pots will now always generate fish, they won't generate trash. This will speed up the Keys special orders quest because it will give me back more fish on a daily basis. So we were doing lots of respecking in terms of the Fisherman tree, but that's a good thing because it just goes to show how structured and varied the fishing actually is in this game and how many useful perks they are. With some professions, generally people just choose one perk and they kind of ignore the rest. Look at the foraging tree, for example. Who on earth chooses the profession at the end where it shows you where the forageables are on the map? Nobody. That's just my opinion though. I suppose I better sit down and brace for a comment now in the next few days from someone saying, actually I use that perk, it's great. So we just did a legendary battle today. We got the glacier fish one step closer to catching all of the fish in the game. All that was left were just the minigame fish. I made more crab pots today just to speed up Key's special walnut room quest. Look at all the fish nets we had now in the lake. This lake was now fully encircled with fish nets and crab pots. I made loads more sashimi today, 196 in total. All that's going into a fridge and it will be sold together eventually. Couple of slime balls today. I made the slime hutch too late in the challenge. I should have made it earlier to benefit a lot more from the slime balls. But I did manage to make 55 more wild bait, so that's better than nothing, I suppose. Time to motor on. Day number 88. Yes, we were fishing. What else would we be doing? I caught a perch today. Delighted. Got some largemouth basses. Look at all of our fishing ponds. So many. And if you're wondering why the fish jump up without a quest being completed, that's a mod. And like I said before, all the mods are in the description. Got the glacier fish trophy off Willie. Gonna hang it up in the house. And I'm also gonna buy deluxe fish tanks off him. Small fish tanks, large fish tanks, so we're going to put all of the fish in the game into these fish tanks. I have been saving a few fish here and there for this moment, so we are going to see a really cool room here in the greenhouse. Look at all the fish. Now this isn't all the fish in the game yet. We're still waiting for the minigame fish you can get from the submarine, so the spookfish and the blobfish and the midnight squid, but it has most of the fish there, which is really cool. Back to Krobus, and this time I was going to get the monster fireplace because it is a really cool item. And I also got the star drop because why not? I could afford it, I had the money, I fished hard, time to treat myself. That was one more star drop in the bag. But there was one star drop we wanted more than any other, and that was the one we got off Willie, and we were very close to getting that one indeed. Back to Robin today after harvesting all those lovely fishies, and this time it was to get a stables. What kind of amount are we going to have? Let's find out. You won't see it coming. So I decorated the farm today. It took the whole day to do it, but look how nice the farm looks now. The lovely path, lovely lights, everything was just nice and cozy. So I finally completed the quest today by selling all that sashimi. I made over 100,000 gold, which is really nice. So I went to a nice fishing event today and I bought loads of decorations from the NPC here. The frozen dreams, the icy rug, the winter dining table, the icy banners, the winter end table. All of these items will go into my house to make it nice and Christmassy and cozy. Because you just can't beat a nice cozy setup, can you? I also beat the fishing event today with 5 big slimy fish, and my reward was a magnet, a barbed hook, a dress spinner, and of course a lovely hat to go with. It was time to respec yet again. Went with angler because it was time to go back to Ginger Island and fish in the best spot in the game, up at the top of the volcano. We were farming lava eels. What else would we be farming to maximise profits, of course? Sometimes it can be quite the battle, but rest assured, with an iridium rod, maxed out fishing and a trap bobber, you will more than likely succeed every time. So I had enough key gems to finally treat myself to the aquatic sanctuary. This thing was massive, and I could not wait to put it into my lovely cozy house and put some fish inside it. Day 94, I was fishing up more lava eels. Why was I going so hard in fishing? Because I wanted to get a special item for my farm. To get that item, I needed tons and tons of money. I sold lots of road today as well. It was now time to get some collectibles because we were on day 95, nearing the end of the challenge. It was time to make the farm look as good as it can. And you can't go wrong with an iridium Krobus. You need a fishing skill of 15 to pull him out of the water, but it's definitely worth it. After the Wizard's Terminal, what are we going to get? It was of course the water obelisk, which can teleport us down to the beach. So for now I was going to put it up here, but I do end up putting that in a different place in the next couple of days. So it was back to more fishing. I only had 790 gold, so I spent the whole day fishing. I would have went over to Ginger Island and fished, but I couldn't afford a ticket. I was broke. The next day, however, I did go over to Ginger Island and I did get some lovely decorations. That was the foliage print. This is the lovely squirrel figurine that we can put on our beautiful farm. And we then went to the desert and we pulled up the lovely Pyramid Decal. Such a nice painting. And we also got the lifesaver, which you can get from the boat area here inside Willie's house. So all these items will be put into our lovely cozy house. So it was time to get the last couple of fish. We start with the spookfish. It was then time to pull up the blobfish. And last but certainly not least, it was time for the midnight squid. And that got us the Master Angler achievement. All fish caught in the game. That was the main challenge of this video done. Look at my lovely cozy house. It was time to put all the fish in here on day number 99. I also put in a cucumber and a super cucumber because there was more room left. And I put in some seaweed as well just to give them a little bit of decoration. Give them some food that they can eat to keep the fish nice, snugly and happy. Finally, we were at day 100, and let's take a look at our lovely farm. More importantly, let's eat this star drop we got from Wooly for capturing all of the fish in the game. What a challenge this was. This was the Fisherman challenge. Play 100 days by just primarily doing fishing activities. And this is our lovely mount. Look at it go. Apparently this is meant to be a Pokemon called Altaria or something. I'm probably butchering that word. Feel free to correct me in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button if you love Stardew Valley content. If you love cozy game content, I promise you, you will absolutely love this channel. Cozy game content is released on a weekly basis. Every single week there is going to be something for you on this channel. Streams are coming back, of course. The streaming software has been reinstalled. The Windows operating system has been sorted out. Let's take a look at the inside of this lovely cozy little house. This is the end product of the Fisherman house. So over here on the left I have some nice cozy little decorations. I've got all different types of fish tanks. I have my legendary trophies just up there as well. That's all the legendary fish. I have the lovely cozy monster fireplace, and I have a few decorative items that I've gotten through various regions in the game. I also made a total of 1,420,525 gold in this challenge, so it was quite the money to make, especially by just using the fishing perk. So I'm going to leave the video there. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it or if you didn't. Feedback is always good to get. Membership is now active on the GamerGar channel, so if you want to become a member, it's only €3 per month. If you can spare that, I greatly appreciate it. If you can't, don't worry about it. You watching this video is good enough for me, so thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.